Hello, Jackie. Jackie. This movie was interesting, to say the least. If you're not familiar with the premise, as the name kind of alludes to, the movie is largely about Jackie O. And it's about her life primarily after the immediate death of her husband, John F. Kennedy, when he was unfortunately assassinated. The movie really tugs at your heartstrings because I think that this movie does a very accurate portrayal of events in terms of the film that they actually brought in to help with the cinematography of it, as well as all the performances by the cast. Now, before I go on, I do want to mention this was directed by Pablo Larraín. I'm not very familiar with the large body of his work. I was looking this up online, and this is his big mainstream movie. This is his first one that really broke through to wider Western audiences like us, I think. Unless you're one of the big reviewers and you're on the film circuit and you've seen more of his other pictures. I think this is the first one to me that I've even heard of, let alone watched. Oh, let's say this. Now, as I mentioned before, the plot centers around Jackie herself. However, there are a few secondary characters that I really did want to mention. There were three that really stuck out to me. JFK's brother, played by Peter Sarsgaard, was phenomenal. He was both emotional towards what Jackie was feeling, as well as dealing with his own grief and his own problems as well, which I found very dynamic. Their dialogue between him and Natalie Portman was incredible. Greta Gerwig as Jackie O's assistant. She was also a very nice addition. I liked her in this movie, and I'm recognizing her face on a couple of upcoming movies later on. One specifically of next year that I got the trailer for in this movie. And then also John Hurt as the, I guess you could call him a father priest figure. He was really, really good and provided a little bit, like he always does, of philosophy in the movie. And it was touching. As always, he's just a phenomenal talent, and he was great. He was great. Now, Natalie Portman as Jackie O was incredible. It is uncanny to the level that she managed to capture Jackie's mannerisms and way of talking and communicating. It was eerie, almost, how close it was to Jackie. I mean, it was it wasn't even Natalie Portman at that point. It was Jackie. It was just Jackie. It was incredible. It was phenomenal. From what I remember, albeit from my American civics class in school, she was spot on. Now, I do feel confident in saying that people that were born before the 70s and that were a part of these events as it transpired, when they look at Natalie Portman's performance of Jackie, I think they're going to be like, it's spot on. I think 100% I'm confident in saying that this was an accurate portrayal of Jackie. I don't see how it couldn't have been. Their mannerisms, her way of speaking, it was just uncanny, unreal. I think this is Natalie's best performance, best role since her role in Black Swan. And I think that was her best acting role and acting ever. That movie was incredible. Her role in it was incredible. And Jackie rivals it. Now, here's the issue, though. As a full package, I wasn't entirely sold on Jackie. The only reason why is that I found one experience very, very jarring. The pacing. Why the time jumps? It starts out with a reporter and Jackie talking and recounting the events of the past, and that would have been fine alone. Maybe that one time skip back into the past, and then you really get into the time lapse of events of how everything transpired. I think if we had more time to gravitate to her character's grief in those moments, we would have been way, way more invested in everything than what we were. It was fine. I didn't find it jarring enough that the movie was total crap, but I did find it jarring enough to not fully get into what was going on the screen. There were moments in the film that cut back to the reporter in them, and I'm just like, no, I don't want to hear this. Go back to where you were. But then it would time jump into another phase of her life that was maybe an hour or two before. Literally, the movie is, in current time for the movie, a month after her husband's death, approximately. But then when we're doing the moments of her going through the stages of grief and everything, it goes from before her husband's death to her husband's assassination to right after her husband's assassination to the finale, which is the big burial and ceremony for John F. Kennedy. And it was weird to go from this one part to this part here and then time lapse into this really like annoying weave of events. I mean, it was explained well enough, but why did you feel the need to do that? I think all you did was just jumble up the events so that we didn't get as great of a fucking pie right into our palate as we had. You know, it's like, why separate the pieces when you're gonna eat the whole pie? You know, that's my whole thinking on it. It really drove me crazy. But the good thing is here that the performances, the story, the dialogue, it all nails to a T what it's like to go through stages of grief, to understand and accept what that person was to you, why you're doing the ceremony in the first place, and who it's for. Jackie really cared about history, and she really wanted to preserve this legacy of her husband. And I feel as if that was this movie's strongest asset. It really, really nailed that part of the movie. And I really, going through an experience like that myself last year, it really hit home to me. And I got it. I empathized with her character more so than I have almost any other character this year, save for maybe the two in La La Land. All in all, Jackie was a great movie, but not one that I can recommend for everyone. People who aren't in the mood for a good drama, a very dialogue-heavy film, a film with soundtrack, but a soundtrack that really propels moments and character faces. It's a very cinematic movie in the sense that it's more passive. And it's hard for me to recommend to even people of my own age who may not be in the mood for this type of film. That said, if you like history, if you were born before the 70s, and you just like great human dramas, I think you need to go see this movie. At least check it out, rent it. This is one of the best dramas of the year. And I think that Natalie Portman's got at least a lock for like a nomination for Actress of the Year. Like, she's got to have an Oscar nom for this. If not, I'm shocked. Because her portrayal of Jackie O, spot on. Spot on. Alright, guys. Did you see Jackie? Let me know what your thoughts were if you did in the comment section below. And if not, go see it. Go check it out. Maybe rent it. But don't run out right away to see it, as I'd say it's an 8 out of 10. Alright, guys. Until the next review, we'll catch you later.